Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at some pitching for today, the 11th of August. It is Monday. We do have a 10-game main slate ahead of us this evening. A little bigger main slate than we're used to on a normal Monday, but that is alright. Doesn't appear to be much for weather to worry about. Some slight in-game risk in Chicago, Kansas City, and St. Louis. So basically the Midwest. With that said, it's not much to worry about, like I mentioned, so I'm not really taking it into consideration. Looking kind of at the warmth and any wind. Warm enough in Sacramento with some slight winds blowing out. Probably the best place for offense. St. Louis, the warmest environment with some winds blowing out as well. That'll be interesting because we have Colorado in that game. And obviously we know we've been picking on Colorado with pitching. Kansas City, slight blowing out. I don't think that's going to affect it as much. It is warmer, but I guess I don't feel as confident in the hitter rating in that ballpark with slight winds and low 80s. It's a pretty big ballpark, not a lot of offense. From a home run standpoint, I should say. So it'll be interesting, but this is a first look at pitching, and I will be looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you do play in FanDuel, I'll cut my pool in half or so. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You don't have to be as creative. It allows you to get stacks you want with an upper-tier-ish pitcher. Now, with all that good stuff said and done, let's just jump right into the games. Minnesota travels to New York. Will Warren, definitely going to be somebody in my pool. Has plenty of K upside. Pretty volatile guy. Walks can be an issue, and that's the worry. But when things come together, 11 strikeouts, 0 walks. Still allowed some runs, etc. He's not going to be perfect by any means, but the Minnesota lineup overall is weak. I love Luke Keyshaw, the way he's playing, but most of the Twins lineup, questionable. Wallner's on the paternity list. That does weaken the lineup as well. I just have to go to Will Warren at 7,500. Zebby Matthews on the other side, 21 plus in 2 out of his last 3 starts. One of those came at Detroit. I like the guy's arm. As a Twins fan, I'm kind of excited. Just want him to, take the ball every 5 days the rest of the season just to see what the team has. Yankees offense has struggled enough recently. I am going to utilize him. He hasn't been great on the road, though. Home runs can happen. His strikeouts are there. I love the strikeout upside. It's a dangerous and volatile spot, but I am interested in Zebby Matthews a little bit, and I plan to sprinkle him into my pool. Maybe a 10-12% type play. I don't know if we'll have ownership projections just yet. It is, not quite 9 o'clock Central Time as I am recording this. Yep. We do not have those yet, but that is all right. Detroit and the White Sox. I'm going to pass on pitching in this game. Paddock, I think, could be viable, to be honest. His first start with Detroit was really strong. Second start was atrocious against his former team. He had a strong start against the Dodgers right before he was traded as well. 2 starts against the White Sox, and he struggled mightily. 4 home runs allowed in 8 1/3 innings. I'm going to guess it wasn't just one bad start. This start wasn't the greatest, but then he had a pretty rough start to begin the season. I think Paddock's going to draw some ownership, but I'm going to look for a reason to fade him just because I expect there to be some ownership. He has struggled a bit on the road. Obviously, that's tough to figure out just because he obviously was traded to Detroit, so technically, all the games are road games compared to his first half of the season splits. I'm going to hold out, consideration on Paddock until I see some ownership projections to get an idea. That was Figueroa. I guess I didn't realize that he had moved on from the Brewers. But he's an opener. It's not a big deal. Alexander doesn't really do it for me either. Next game, Pitt and Milwaukee. Quintana is always steady. I'm just not sure he has a ton of upside. 21.3 is his ceiling so far this season. Did strike out 7, but I mean, that's a season high. Don't really expect that to show up again. Has given up 6 home runs over his last 4 starts. That's not the greatest thing, but it is Pittsburgh, and he is, I mean, pitching at home isn't a great thing, at least recently, or this season. He's probably in play, but being a 10-game slate, I'm going to hope that I can remove him from the pool, just because I don't think he has enough upside. You know, we're looking at a ceiling of 21.3 on the season. I think the ceiling's a little above that. Like, he definitely could have got out of this game with giving up, 1 or 2 runs, and that changes everything. But still, 21.3 here, didn't give up a run at all. Just only 2 strikeouts, so he does have a little bit more upside. He just feels capped overall. Feels like a guy I'd much prefer to play on a 4, 5, or 6 game slate than a 10-game slate. The other side, Andrew Heaney. Racked up pitch count last time out. Wasn't the sharpest, but it wasn't terrible. With that said, the Brewers are just playing so well right now, and they destroyed him the first time. 3 home runs in 4 innings. Just going to pass. He's been atrocious on the road as well. No real reason to consider Andrew Heaney at this point. Washington, Kansas City. Bailey Falter is intriguing, but he was atrocious in his debut with Kansas City. Showed some upside against Detroit about a half a month ago, a little more than a half a month ago. That was his ceiling on the season, but still, he's had some strong performances. He did dominate against this Washington team. Didn't rack up strikeouts, but he's not a big strikeout guy. Considered a home start. Now, again, he was traded, so do these home splits really matter? I'm not sure. With that said, I do think Bailey Falter is intriguing. I'm curious to see what kind of ownership he has on him. But to me, I guess he's very similar to Quintana. Lower floor, maybe a little bit bigger of a ceiling, but he's kind of falling in that range in my mind. The other side, Cade Cavalli. Looked pretty good in his return after a long road back from Tommy John. Probably going to pass on him. He did throw 88 pitches, which is nice to see. I like the long-term upside. Kansas City, just not a huge strikeout team. And at that price point, I feel like I want to be guaranteed a little bit better of a return. But he is an arm I want to pay attention to. I want to see how he bounces back after a pretty solid start. His first start back from that long road. So kind of write his name down so that you follow along just to see. Big time prospect, rose a ton before making his major league debut. Big helium guy. So yeah, I'm very intrigued long term. It's just a matter of just watching him bounce back start to start. We've seen a lot of these guys return from Tommy John have uneven performances. I mean, Spencer Strider is a perfect example for the Braves. He flashes his former self, but then all of a sudden he loses it. Strikeouts aren't there. Walks jump up. Home runs, etc. So, yeah, probably more than I need to say about Cade Cavalli, but that kind of tells you how much I do like him as a pitcher. Mikolas and Dollander. Mikolas gets to take on the Rockies, but am I going to go there? I'm going to try my hardest to not. I'm going to be honest. I just don't want to play Miles Mikolas. It is Colorado. I think that'll automatically inflate his ownership, and I think that's some place that I want to avoid. Chase Dollander on the other side. Big time arm. I'm not sure what he did. Minor leagues were atrocious. With that said, I just can't get there anyways. St. Louis doesn't strike out a whole lot, and I'm just not going to trust Dollander right now. It's one of those arms that has a ton to it, but is he going to perform at the major league level? I'm not really sure. Arizona, Texas, Evalde. We're just going to play Evalde at this point every time. Basically 21 plus in 6 straight starts. It's been absolutely phenomenal on the season, like a 1.38 ERA, a 0.84 WHIP. Just dominant. Allows fewer hits at home. Strikeout numbers are stronger at home. I'm just playing him against Arizona, even though that Corbin Carroll-Ketel Marte combination at the top is always dangerous. Ryan Nelson, he's on the road where he's struggled mostly this season. He has some big-time upside, 8 strikeouts in back-to-back starts, pretty strong starts in each of those. 19 plus in 4 straight and 8 out of his last 9. It's been pretty solid. Just 2 earned runs less in 9 out of his last 10. I might have to consider Ryan Nelson at this point. Texas offense has been pretty lackluster, but I'm kind of torn. I think he definitely has more upside than some of the guys that we talked about, but is he going to get there? Probably slightly more upside than somebody like Quintana, but I don't know how much more. So, with that said, right now I'm going to consider Ryan Nelson in my pool, but that obviously could change as the day goes on. Boston, Houston. Garrett Crochet, certainly somebody I'm playing. Numbers have been even better on the road. Like, his strikeout numbers just skyrocket on the road. He's pricey, that's for sure. He's going to face a lineup with a ton of right-handed bats. But I do like Garrett Crochet. Pure upside. We can't really pass on him. Christian Javier, making his return from Tommy John. Wasn't very sharp in the minors. Stretched out to 77 pitches in the last one, but only 3 2/3. Think he's going to be somewhat limited early on. Mark him down as another guy I'm super intrigued about to see how he returns. Guy that's thrown a no-hitter at the major league level. Ton of upside, but I'm going to play the wait and see with him at this point. Yamamoto, been at his best when on the road, where he's at this evening, in a plus K matchup against the Angels. 21 plus fantasy points in 4 straight and 6 out of 7. He's really turned it on. I like Yamamoto's upside. Doesn't give up a lot of home runs. Angels hit plenty of home runs, but they do strike out a ton. I just like the matchup for Yamamoto. Soriano on the other side. Don't think I'm getting to Soriano. There's people in this industry that think Soriano at home is a thing. Soriano at home is not a thing. Strikeouts are solid, but his overall fantasy production, atrocious. Can't pick up wins. 1 win in 13 starts at home. A whip of 1.56 at home. 7 of the 8 home runs allowed at home, despite pitching half of his innings at home so far this season. Soriano just not going to make the cut against the Dodgers for me. San Diego, San Francisco. 2 pitchers that we are going to use. We're pitching in San Francisco, so we are going to use them. Logan Webb obviously has some danger to him against San Diego, but a couple decent starts against them. I wonder if one is stronger than the other. Yeah, he had a 28 fantasy point performance at home against them. Definitely somebody I'm going to use. I'm just not afraid of San Diego in San Francisco. Yu Darvish on the other side. So, 2 starts ago was dominant. Last start, not very strong. With that said, definitely somebody I want to use. He has struggled on the road in 3 starts this season. That's a worry, but it is in San Francisco against that lineup. Not too worried about San Francisco's offense. So Yu Darvish is going to make my pool again. Last game of the night, Tampa Bay and the A's. Maybe Jeffrey Springs against Tampa Bay. Left-handed pitchers against Tampa Bay. Essentially 20-plus fantasy points in 4 of his last 5. Home, it is a worry because of home runs, but still, left-handers against Tampa Bay are a thing. Pepio might be somebody I sprinkle in because there's K upside in the matchup. He did dominate the A's the first time he faced them. But I don't want to get too heavy, so I'm curious to see what kind of ownership numbers he has. He has struggled more on the road as well. But 2 guys I think we can sneak into our pool at lower ownership is my guess. With that said, that is it. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I'll put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And I will drop a link to our merch store in the description as well. Check out my hoodie, pick one up, let me know how it fits. I love our merch and our clothing, so big proponent of it. Check it out, let me know. Anyways, as always, best of luck, everybody.